everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and we are live reacting to the new list, which Konami was nice enough to drop while I was grinding with Hero. And it's going well, surprisingly. This is no magic key, trust me. Now, the ban list has been dropped, apparently, unless chat is absolutely schlonging me. I have a couple of hopes for the ban list. I think that the ban list has an opportunity to be something really transformative. Yu-Gi-Oh's in a really great place right now, I believe, but there's a couple of cards that I think are really frustrating. One thing that's a little upsetting about the timing of this ban list is that it's happening right before the Nationals season, which is about to start like this weekend, and also a YCS that's coming up in a week and a half. So while I would like to see hits to, I went over this on my channel, exactly Scythe and Verte Anaconda and Hauka Fibrax, I think doing so would be a little irresponsible because now like 2,000 duelists are going to be scrambling for cards in the next 8 days right after Difo released. So while I would like to see a lot of changes, I'll understand if there aren't. So with that, let's just get into it, I suppose. All right, so Forbidden and Limited list, May 17th, 2022. Now, this looks a little different than normal, so I might be getting baited. All right, so let's check it out. Nothing so far. Okay, no new monsters, and... oh! It's everything I could have ever hoped for. Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon banned, Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo banned, Predaplant Verte Anaconda banned. In the arms of the angels, go to hell. So Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon is a card that I knew was busted on release and was very quickly integrated into extremely frustrating Hauka Fibrax lines that set up Avogadro's number of negates. Prankid's Meow Meow Moo is responsible pretty much single-handedly for Prankid being a force for the last 2 years, and Predaplant Verte Anaconda, in my opinion, is the most frustrating of all of these. Verte Anaconda exactly says you can trade with your combo opponent all day, but if they have any random material left on their field after you've expanded all your hand traps, well, you bet you're gonna have to deal with DPE with the 2-card hand for the remainder of the game. So frustrating. Now, unfortunately, this kills many strategies dead, including what I was planning on bringing to the YCS. A necessary casualty, but still a little frustrating. No new spells, no new Xyz, and no new traps. So it looks like that's the only banned cards. Scythe makes it out again, though I'll be honest, Artifact Scythe without DPE and Verte online all the time means it's going to be a lot less popular. And for what it's worth, Scythe wasn't in a perfect position right now anyway. There's a lot of cards that beat it. There's a lot of decks that don't care about it. Jet Synchron 1. Let's go! Synchron best deck. Kiera, where are you at? I proved to the world that Jet Synchron is the most powerful card on the ban list, and for that reason, you should be suspect that it's coming off. But guess what, baby? Synchron best deck, literally buying it this weekend. That's just what I'll play. Monkey Board! Why would you unlimit Monkey Board? There's so many safer Pendulum cards you can take off, but for what it's worth, I don't think this card is going to break anything. You can pretty much take every single Pendulum hit off the list as long as you leave Electrumite on. Red Rose Dragon to 1. This one's a little strange. I wasn't expecting this. I never thought it was the second or third Red Rose Dragon that got you, but at least this will mean that people have to think a little harder about their Hauka Fibrax line. That said, hitting Auroradon is already a pretty good way of beating the Haukedon combo, where cards like Red Rose were absolutely bonkers. Whoa! I mean, not to get all Sam about it, but I literally told you. I literally told you that Yatagarasu could come off, no problem. The worst card on the ban list, and the oldest card on the ban list. I can't believe it. Wow, I truly... Okay, so if you're afraid about Yatagarasu breaking anything, let me be clear. It is not going to. Yatagarasu is not good in this day and age. You want to use your normal something on a lot more impactful. In a world where a normal summon can be a full combo, preventing your opponent from drawing once isn't enough, and you need your battle phase to do it, so you can only do it from your turn 3 onward, or if you're going second, your turn 2. Now, you can search Yatagarasu with some cards, but the cards that search it are really bad. And finally, even if you connect with Yata, you don't win the game, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a lot more about managing your hard once per turns than drawing a card off the top of your deck. Like, if you have a DPE and the adventure line in rotation, who cares if you don't draw? You're going to draw off Celestial anyway. You're going to plus off a Fateful Adventure anyway. So not surprising to see that this card is an acceptable power level, but surprising to see that they were willing to take it off. Hulk to 1. That's interesting. Wow. I like this. Having played it in Master Duel for a while, the inability to do the Hulk line twice actually matters frequently. If Hulk is part of your setup combo, then it's a huge choke point. If you remove it from your opponent's ability the first time, they aren't going to be able to threaten it on future turns. I really like this hit, and, you know, happy to see it. But Shooting Riser Dragon is now limited as well. This one I don't understand. Was anyone playing 2 Shooting Riser Dragon? Why is this limited? Is this just Konami saying, we know this card is good? I would have liked to have seen some of the cards that are making Shooting Riser Dragon such a problem banned. I think removing Fairy Tail Snow from the list was a huge mistake, and I would like to see her go back to hell where she belongs. I'm getting trolled. All right, this was a fun video, everyone. You could put this up on streamers getting trolled. All right, we're playing Master Duel. On the off chance that I'm not, this is an insane unhit. Truly bird-brained. Maybe the most frustrating card to play against ever. I mean, truly unbelievable. Minecon's at 1 for a reason. In a Link format, these cards are so absolutely bonkers. They're swingy as hell. You can use the monsters as Link material after you've used them. Many of these monsters have on field effects like Baron. Imagine expending the negate off the Baron, then coughing it and just popping an opponent's monster and getting to use it as Link material post-combat. Change of Heart doesn't have the stipulation that Mindcon does, and for that reason, you can still attack with it. Monsters these days have huge attack stats. It's just such a frustrating card to play with or against. People are going to compare it unfavorably to Triple Tactics Talents. I gotta tell you, that card is way worse than Change of Heart. Time Seal. I told you. Time Seal's the worst card on the list. Could come off tomorrow. They seem to have moved it to 1, and I can't wait for people to break it. Okay, Semi being used as a quarantine zone once again. A little frustrated to see that some of these cards that were at Semi were not put back to 3. Fusion Destiny has no reason being on the list, like, at all if Verte Anaconda is banned. You do still play it in decks like Sky Striker, and I would like to see those decks still have a very powerful tool like that at 3, but sure. Nadir Servant, one of the most ridiculous semi-limits of all time. The card has done dick fuck anything for the last format, but, you know, whatever. So we are moving Dynamite Knight to 2, a little scary. This is probably the most powerful card in the arsenal of True Draco that is on the list, but probably not that big of a deal. Ben 10 to 2. Well, I don't like that. Why would they do that? Tanky to 2? Pot of Desires to 2? What is going on? Why? I'm actually shocked. What is happening? What is going on? Ben 10 to 2, it was just put to 1. The left wants to unlimit Pot of Desires, but they put it to 1 in the first place. Do you understand? I don't. If I wasn't sure that I was getting trolled before, I am sure now. Pot of Desires back to 2. In a format where Sword Soul is really, really good and received no hits on the ban list seems super irresponsible. Trickstar Light Stage to 2 should have happened in 2018, but happy to see that it's happening now. And Wall of Revealing Light moved to semi-limited as well. Completely fine. Card does absolutely nothing. Night Assailant, no longer on the list. This received an errata, not surprising. Trishula, no longer on the list. Oh, but my loops! You can banish 3 cards if you invest 14 material worth of monsters. Yeah, no duh. Salaman Great Mirage Stalio, funnily enough, is not even very good in Salaman Great these days because it locks you out of DPE. A Hero Lives to 3. Let's go, baby. That's fine. Salaman Great Circle to 3. Fine. And Scapegoat to 3. The thing about Scapegoat that kind of irks me is that it was really powerful when it was put on the list, and it remains really powerful to this day. Like, the Scapegoats themselves can just be Shureg, and that's really strong, for sure. There's just not very many decks that would actually want to make them. We went down the list of, like, potentially playable decks that could afford 4 monster spaces and not special summoning for a turn, and the only one we could think of was literally Guru. So, you know, maybe. You know, it's weird. It's not often that I continue to scroll down and get more and more upset with the list as I do so. Really happy to see Verte Anaconda die in hell. Really happy to see Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon no longer lurking over the format. Happy about Meowmoo. Happy about Hauka Fibrax, but absolutely puzzled at some of these unhits. Change of Heart, I think, is going to be immensely unfun to play against. I can't imagine why we are semi-limiting a bunch of cards that we correctly determined were too good to have at 3. And I guess the most upsetting part is the best deck being branded and no real hit to the archetype. I guess they don't have Verte Anaconda anymore, but it's the deck that uniquely can use branded fusion without it. Expect to see a lot of branded, expect to see a lot of Sword Soul at the YCS, but sheesh, I mean, outside of that, have a fun time at Nationals, everybody.